Ah, Rebecca Black. A warm cup of tea and a good CRT. Does it get any better than this? According to Sony, it does. The life of a PlayStation 4 player is apparently more exciting than Kim Kardashian's butt. So, I had to investigate. I put down my keyboard for a week and picked up the controller. So sit back and grab yourself a cup of tea or a beer if that's more your thing, as we figure out whether the PlayStation 4 is worth the price of admission. There is no denying the fact that the PS4 is a slick machine. Its sharp lines give it a sense of rigidity, and despite its actual hardware, it looks powerful and serious. It looks like a little temple filled with monks who carefully observe the enemy from their disk drive balcony. But in our world, it's a small machine, especially when compared to this box of Spartan and my foot. But fitting so many warm running components in such a small space presents challenges when it comes to cooling. The PS4 solves this by utilizing a fan that is louder than the Rolls-Royce engines inside a Boeing 747. Okay, perhaps it's not that bad, but even my fat PC under load is quieter. Connections are simple, and the integrated power supply removes the need for an ugly power brick. But the only USB ports are on the front, which means whenever you wish to charge the controller, the console's slick aesthetic is ruined. But otherwise, in typical Sony style, the design is excellent, and reminiscent of all the iterations that it took Sony to get here. When it comes to graphically demanding titles that push the PS4 to the edge, there's nothing better than the new Mavis Beacon. But since the PS4 has no port for a nice clicky PS2 keyboard, you'll have to use this. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Its curvature allows it to sink into your hands naturally, and it has one of the best D-pads I've seen in years. Another important part of a console is being able to get the player into the game as quickly as possible. So to test this, we're going to do a little race. We're going to see which can get into Minecraft faster from a totally cold boot, the PS4 or my 2-year-old PC. Are you ready? Set, and go! Although the PC won, this may have been a more fair test if the PS4 had an SSD too. But in terms of raw performance, the PS4 does an okay job of handling demanding titles, like Star Wars Battlefront at 60 FPS. But as you would expect, to keep the frame rate there is a noticeable resolution step down. And that's okay if you're playing on a low-res display like a CRT, but it's definitely noticeable on a 1080p monitor. But I didn't get the PS4 for cross-platform games I could already get on the PC. I bought it for exclusives, and luckily this is where the machine shines in both performance and gameplay. When developers know the exact hardware they're making games for, they make sure to keep the performance to graphics ratio absolutely perfect. Games like The Last of Us Remastered show off the PS4's true potential in the graphics department, and reveal that it might be better as a machine for reliving your past gaming experiences with a graphic tune-up, rather than as a sole end-all be-all gaming machine. serious gaming definitely fell short on the PS4, it was in its element when it came time to relax. Games like Tearaway invite you into a sharp, beautiful universe and take advantage of some of the more unique features of the PlayStation's controller. Journey on PlayStation 4 is a reason in itself to buy the console. The entire game is a work of art in itself, and the higher resolution and visual fidelity makes the breathtaking settings even more enjoyable. Other titles from the excellent Santa Monica studio are also available in remastered versions, such as the incredibly beautiful and unique Flower. But while these games are beautiful, my favorite game to sit back and escape the world with remains Minecraft. No game harkens back to my childhood quite like it, but I find Minecraft as a game is not stimulating enough on its own. I always like to play it with a movie or show or YouTube video playing in the background, and this is where the PlayStation 4 simply disappointed me. It can't truly multitask, at least not yet. On my PC, I can take my favorite documentary, an ASMR video or a movie, and put it side by side with Minecraft and tune out from the world, but I couldn't do that on PS4. But one thing that the PS4 does have to cover Minecraft's silence is an excellent version of Spotify. I could still rock out to my favorite Rush albums or get my daily hit of Rebecca Black, but trying to change songs and shifting between the applications was problematic, and this is simply silly. Because even the Xbox 360 can handle song changes and different media being played during games. As this video comes to an end, you're looking for a definitive end, a pros and a cons, so here you go. First of all, the pros, the positives. What did I like about PS4? First off, the design is awesome. It's slick and it's compact as. The controller rocks and is an awesome improvement from DualShock 3. The games install and run without any problems or things you have to troubleshoot. And the library of exclusives is excellent, and almost all of them run at 1080p, holding a solid 60 FPS for almost the entire experience. So it's not that bad, right? Well, here's the cons. It's still a console, meaning everything feels like it's child-proofed. You can't really touch or change much. Also, it's underpowered. The hardware lacks the power to push the big games at 1080p. Resolutions such as 900p and 792p are regular words that you hear thrown around when you're talking about games on PlayStation 4. And this goes under the console one, but it's still a problem. You can't customize the PlayStation 4. There is nothing you can improve about the console's performance, other than just adding an SSD for load times. Another thing is that the multitasking just isn't present. You can listen to music while playing a game, but you could do this on 360. And last of all, expensive games. Without the regular Steam sale, the games get pricey, and $30 per game adds up really fast. At the end of the day, the PS4 is an excellent machine, once you acknowledge that it isn't going to replace your gaming PC, because it's a baby's toy. It's not the badass machine that Sony thinks it is. It has enough power to play a few games at 1080p, and I can recommend the console solely because of its exclusives. But as an end-all, be-all gaming machine, it falls short. At the end of the day, the PC platform is flexible, upgradable, and in order of magnitude more powerful. And while it's not as clean or as refined as a console, there are far too many things I missed about my PC during my week with PS4 for me to be able to totally recommend it. Thanks again for watching, and good night. Rebecca Black. A good... but it's as an end-all gaming PC. Fuck! At the end of the day, the PC platform is flexible. Many things I missed about my PC during my week with the PS4 for me to be able to totally recommend it. So thanks again for watching, and good night. Console Tim. It's been too long. How's the graphics? Not too bad, PC Tim. How's Vista? You gotta get with the times, man. I'm gonna take care of you like I should have a long time ago.